أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم مديسي يا رسول الكريم يا حبيب العظيم انزل حالنا واشفى لنا وأبيدنا بمددكم ونزاركم مديسي يا سلطان الأولياء من الشيخ عبد الفايز الداغستاني مديسي يا سلطان الأولياء من الشيخ محمد ناظم حقاني مديا سلطان قلوبنا مولانا الشيخ هشام كباني مدد الحق حجة الله المخلص. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أطيع الله وأطيع الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. And a reminder always from myself, Ya Rabbi ana abdukal ajis da'if wa miskeen wa zalim wa jahal, and by the grace of Allah that we are still in existence. And the rahmah of Allah inshaAllah to always be upon us and dress us and guide us. And alhamdulillah they take from holy hadith, from holy Qur'an, from holy hadith oceans of reality, and from Prophet's holy sayings that who knows himself will know his Lord, and that the way of knowing the self and the reality of our physiology, the reality of our being is an understanding that is of a tremendous depth. It's not something so simple, it's not something so plain, that we are Allah's chosen creation, khalaqal karamna bani Adam, and that this chosen creation Allah has encoded with many realities and many gifts. One, understanding in the reality of the holy hands, that Allah has encoded our hands with a secret of our reality, a secret of our being. It's not just a piece of flesh, and that the lines that are upon them are all codes from Allah. And our life, when we take the holy hadith of Prophet and we take a way of tafakkur and contemplation to know myself before I can claim to know Allah, astaghfirullah, is to know myself that, Ya Rabbi, what have you bestowed upon me of these realities of my being, and awliyaullah come into our life and they begin to teach that your hands are a receptacle, they are points of reality of all your inner being. Allah has put those secrets upon the hand. Means every point of the hand has a connecting organ, has a connecting reality inside the body similar to the feet. And this understanding, how we got to this subject tonight is because there are people who place such an importance on their kalam, on their words, on their mouth. And greatness of Allah, greatness of Sayyidina Muhammad bringing the words of Allah, that they place an importance upon their mouth, their speech, their qiraat, their pronunciation. And Allah describes in Holy Qur'an that we're going to seal your mouth. Surah Yaseen verse 65. Haji Shazad, your Shazad Sahib. Surah Yaseen 65. From the heart of Qur'an which we keep teaching, Surah Yaseen is the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad, and Prophet's heart, manzil al-Qur'an, in which the Holy Qur'an is emanating from that reality. And what Allah says from the heart of Holy Qur'an,
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون. صدق الله العظيم.
That we're going to seal the day that we're going to seal their mouth. Coming from heart of Holy Qur'an, Allah reminder from myself that we're going to seal their mouth. And we've said many times as a reminder from myself, Allah first to know that that mouth of yours is filled with lies. That mouth of yours said so many things, that mouth of yours testified to so many things. Allah saying, we're going, the first thing He's going to do, seal the mouth. As soon as you arrive at that destination, Yawm al-Mashar, Allah seals the mouth. So then immediately awliyaullah come into our lives, say, don't put so much importance on your kalam, Allah going to be sealing that mouth. Means then what this mouth has to say, its importance is of no importance. What Allah then going to ask is, I'm going to speak to their hands. Their hands will begin to talk and their feet will testify to their rizq and what they earned. SubhanAllah, Allah prepared us for the last days. Can you imagine this 500 years ago? They thought, oh, well Ya Rabbi, what are you going to want from my hands? I'm just cutting log and cutting wood, and not to the extreme of harming people. Allah is giving us an isharat in these days that subhanAllah, people are not even talking anymore. They're already moving to Yawm al-Mashar is coming, that people don't know how to talk anymore. You know, children have no verbal skills. They're like people, because they lost the ability to talk and to communicate, especially computer people. They lose their ability to interact and talk casually, politely, nicely. They lost all their social skills because they're behind a computer, they're typing all day long, typing. And they think whatever they type it doesn't matter, and Allah is giving us a sign, no, in those last days you're going to understand what this is about. You're going to understand that you probably, even because as you approach the last days you're closer to your paradise reality. So as we're moving closer to the last days, more and more people, they don't talk, they don't socialize, they don't even know how to communicate without insulting somebody else. And to the fact that they don't even talk anymore, and all they're talking with their fingers, and they type every type of insanity, every type of craziness. And Allah said, your fingers are going to talk and to testify to me. They're going to testify to me of what they're doing. So one, this is a sign for us how Allah is guiding the nation of Sayyidina Muhammad and reminding us that your mouth is not of importance. I'm going to ask your hands what they did, I'm going to ask what they typed, what they wrote, because now the hand is the one that's speaking in this dunya. It's typing and texting all day long and they think it's not anything. Even they text with their thumb, and subhanAllah how in the realities of the hand your identity and Divinely Presence is on your thumb. Allah says, we'll bring you back to life all the way to the imprint of your thumb. It carries a reality of who you are. Your code, like a barcode in the grocery store, your barcode is on your thumb. Allah is going to bring you back exactly to who you are, even to the point of your barcode will be exact, your thumbprint. That your feet are going to testify to where it earned. Means where your feet are going, Allah is going to bring all of its realities of where it went. So then they become and they begin to teach us the importance. That subhanAllah, if Allah is going to be asking these hands, there must be something of a tremendous reality. And they begin to teach us that actually your hand is the ambassador of your being. Before I can get to meet you, I'm going to meet your hand. So it extends itself to introduce you. So then it has a tremendous reality that it's an ambassador of your reality. They can tell the condition of your heart by the light emanating from your hand. So it means the hand will show the condition of the heart. If the heart is dark and the heart filled with hypocrisy and the heart filled with bad characteristics, you find those hands not to be good hands. They hit, they beat, they do all sorts of aggressive actions. It's a reflection of this condition, because there's nobody with a good heart doing horrible things with their hand, because the hand is an ambassador. If this good, this very good. If this bad, this very bad. So our life is to build the light and the reality of the heart so that it begins to reflect to the reality of the hand. Well, Allah describes that there be a people on the day of resurrection that you'll see the believing people and a light will be emanating from their right hand out. And Allah stresses the importance, وَتَبَارَكَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ mulk. Now they begin to make us to contemplate that my tabarak is upon their hand because it carries a mulk and a sovereignty from Allah, means that what I am bestowing upon that heart which is now reflecting to its ambassador the hand, it has tremendous tabarak. Why? Because Allah described that qalb al-mu'min baytullah. If that heart is clean and the character is clean and the conditions are reaching perfection, then light of Allah, the love of Sayyidina Muhammad begins to occupy the heart. When it begins to occupy the heart, they're teaching us our physiology of realities. If that heart is an enlightened heart, then Allah is teaching tabarak alladhi biyadihi mulk. There's a tabarak in their yad, in their hand, because of the mulk that being established within their heart. And the Naqshbandi awrad we recite Surah al-Mulk at Zohr and Surah al-Mulk at Salat al-Isha. Why? For mulk wa malakut, for the physical domain and the spiritual domain. So the two mulks, we call Prophet the Sultan al-Thaqalain, the Sultan of the two realities. Two hands, one for mulk and one for malakut. This hand and its reality will be based on the condition upon the heart. When that heart begins to bring the mulk of Allah, the sovereign king of Allah, that I'm not on heaven and I'm not on earth, I'm on the heart of my believer. As that light is entering into the heart, Allah says that the ambassador of yours, your hand, your yad is going to become noble. If it opens into the realities and Allah grants that heart to be open, Ahlul Basira. Allah describes Ahlul Basira in the Qur'an, that whom their hearts are open. Then what Surah Yaseen describes in them, Subhanalladhi biyadihi mulk. My Subhan, glory be to me whom I bestowed upon the hand power. Not Allah's hand, Allah has no hands. This is an inheritance Allah giving. The hand of Allah is His might and majesty. But the real reflection of the hand of Allah is Sayyidina Muhammad, is the reflection of Allah. All the might and majesty and Allah's subhan upon the hand of Prophet, upon the hand of all the Prophets. And that's why you take bay'ah, Inna alladhina yubayyununa Allah. Ya Rabbi, I want my hand on your hand. Then take the hand of Sayyidina Muhammad. All my glory, all my mulk, all my power, Subhanalladhi biyadihi mulk wa huwa ala kulli shay'in ilayhi turja'un. All my power, all my might, all my my kingdoms are upon the power of that hand and to it you will be returning. Means then the majesty of opening the heart and the reality that reflecting into the hands. So means the hands of those whom their hearts are open, not like normal hands. That Allah is describing that we bestow upon them an authority. They have an authority in the mulk of this physical world, but you may not see it or sense it. And in my Divinely kingdom of malakut they have a tremendous authority. And from them lights are emanating, from their entire being lights are emanating, and they begin to teach that that right hand brings a nur and a rahmah. And the codes upon the right hand is a 1 and a 8. The line is a 1 and a 8. For those who recite Dalal Khairat, they recite the 99 names of Allah and 201 names of Sayyidina Muhammad. And they understood and they know from their shaykhs that every Ismullah has to have a Ism Rasul to open. So 18th name Al-Fatah, Allah going to open. 18th name of Prophet is Ar-Rahmah, Nabi Ar-Rahmah. So for Fatah to open you have to ask the permission of a Nabi Ar-Rahmah. Ya Sayyidi, Ya Rasulullah, everything is La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. Allah don't want to hear from me and you without going to Prophet. That rahmah to open, that mercy to open means everything is coded upon here. It's not something simple, not something small. When that reality wants to open means they begin to teach and train us that as you are perfecting your heart and cleaning your heart, these lights will begin to emanate upon your hand. That's why those whom have permission for healing, their hands are ignited, and in this day and age they don't touch because they don't want to become sick. But the light and Fatah Rahmah, these are the lights of mercy, emanate from their right hand, and wherever their hand moves that light is emanating. And Sifat al-Muntaqim, because the right hand has 81 min Sifat al-Muntaqim, Allah's avenging. So the Mulk has avenging because the Mulk is the abode of fire. The Malakut is the Fatah Rahmah. That's why in your salah Allah wants your right hand to hold your left hand. That take control of your Malakut, that your Malakut has to govern your Mulk and your physicality. The attributes that govern your soul and your reality has to take control of that which governs your physicality. So it means these sifats are dressing and controlling our being. When they understood and they open their heart, it means they bring a light emanates from their hand from Allah. Allah in Surah Al-Hadid, Surah Al-57 verse 12. 57th name of Sayyidina Muhammad is Al-Mahdi. So Hadid has to do with guidance. When they say, oh there's no mention of Sayyidina Mahdi, oh there's many mentions of Sayyidina Muhammad, of Sayyidina Mahdi, but you may not know them. Hadid and iron has to do with guidance. The Christians know in their Bible that someone's coming on a horse, the white rider, and in his hand is iron. And so, oh this Sayyidina Isa coming, no that's Sayyidina Mahdi coming. He's known of iron, hadid. And hadid Allah saying, not from your dunya but hadid comes tanzila, it comes from the heavens onto this earth. Guidance is given to you by the iron within your body. Every creation and creature has guidance from iron. Their iron picks up the energy. With the iron is our natural GPS system. So the birds, how they fly, how they know where the earth is and where the ocean is, where their destination is. The iron within their body is what Allah sends a qudra and nazma to it. The energy that coming to that, it gives its coordinates and its guidance. If your iron is imperfected and the iron within your body is not clean, your entire guidance system goes off. And the iron is what makes the blood to be red. We said that in other talks. It's tremendous reality upon insan. The iron within the earth is what makes the earth to have a magnetic field. Is a molten iron in the core of the earth that continuously moving and heated up. Based on that iron there's an energy field around this earth. What from ourselves? We are a reflection from that earth. The iron within your body, this is what hadith has to do with guidance. And Allah is showing that that guidance and that light will be emanating from your being. Then they begin to teach that this hand of yours is all encoded. So this fataya rahmah that you're trying to open that reality and open from these lights in your tafakkur, then you begin to understand why Allah has these 5 fingers with 3 lines on each finger. So there's 15 because the hand and the symbol of perfection is qamar, because Shams is for the Nabiyeen, Qamar for Siddiqeen, Shuhada wa Saliheen, because there cannot be a sun. The sun is for the Nabiyeen whom Allah gave them risalat. The most majestic sun, the sun of all realities is Sayyidina Muhammad. So it means that you cannot be a sun, but Allah made us to be qamarun. You can't be a moon if you reach the reality of your heart. You have 15 lines on this hand, 5 fingers, 3 lines. Right hand is nur, means then the 15 days of the month, the first 15 days they are nurani. These are the 15 days in which the moon is being dressed as it's approaching towards its reality. What they call the birth. The moon is born and beginning to move towards the reality of the sun, means 15 days of nur and light is reaching towards its perfection, and that's why the full moon is the sign of perfection. So it means that the real hand and the majestic hand in which Allah describing Tabarak, blessed are their hands, because these are the qamars of my Divinely Presence. Their whole being is they follow their Shams. They don't move left and they don't move right. And that Shams and that sun dresses their reality and give them 15 days of light. So every time they making zikr they're asking, Ya Rabbi, bless these realities. Make every day of these 15 days to be filled with nur. Then you make another 5 fingers, has another 3 lines, and this is 15 days of the waning moon. Means after the moon reaches its perfection, it's now in the phase of death. Everything is born and everything dies. Everything. We have a day and we have a night. Everything has a cycle of its birth and its death. From the planets to our being on this earth, to all the flowers and everything that we see around us. And the way when the hadith and the reality of the hadith, who knows himself will know his Lord is not something small, it's an ocean that can continue to keep opening. And when Allah wants you to know His heavenly kingdom, He began to teach you about yourself. Ya Rabbi, what have you dressed me with? لَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي Adam. We have honoured this creation of Adam, that he carries a majestic light from our Divinely Presence. We stamped him with names. We said before that the 1 and the 8, when Allah describes 8 will hold the throne and 1 will be the sultan on the Day of Judgment. Well, Allah going to be sitting on a chair for 8 people to hold him? Is there a chair that can hold Allah? No, because the one holding the chair maybe then is as powerful. It's impossible. There is a sultan, Sultan al-Nasira, who will be sitting upon that chair. Our life is to be from those who serve the sultan. That's why we described in the Jummah, Tahzim al-Nabi. Our life is to glorify Allah and His beloved Sayyidina Muhammad. Be from the 8 that hold the 1. Then they begin to teach, then that heart will begin to open. Every time you're making wudu, what kind of codes are you opening upon this reality? You're opening Fatah Rahmah, you're opening all the realities of light upon the right hand, you're opening all the realities of these 15 days of light to reach the perfection of the full moon. So it means on the 15th day those lights are strongest upon their hand, because they are the reflection of what you see in the heavens. They are walking moons upon the earth. The moon represents the people of annihilation, has nothing, if they've been annihilated. As a result they reflect all those realities, and then they begin to teach the left hand. These are from Izzatullah, Sifat al-Muntaqeen, because that left hand is a fire. If that left hand is not controlled, it becomes like the fire of Jahannam upon people. And that fire is why Allah wants you to clean yourself with your left hand, not your light. Your right hand is of a light and a rahmah. Your right hand is light and rahmah. Allah wants you to eat and put rahmah and light upon your food and put that food into your mouth. So everything has a reason. Not always this is right or left or this is just by mistake. It's an immense reality that put your light and rahmah upon your food and that rahmah to go into your mouth. And later they teach the people who know and they use that energy on a daily basis, what emanating from their left hand is a fire. قُلْ يَا النَّهْرُ كُنِ بَرْدًا وَالسَّلَامًا عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ. If they don't know how to control, you see that their left hand and aggression and their fiery reality will overtake them. That's why Allah then say, you control your fiery nature. If you control that fire, you can make it to be a fire of healing, because you have to burn away bad to bring the light of something good. So that which is najas and dirty for you, Allah says, use your left hand. The fire of that hand will take away its badness and its germs. Everything has a tremendous reality upon our being, it's not something random. And they're teaching us how to open all of these realities. These are the people of tafakkur and contemplation, the people of realities. Means that they open their heart. As they begin to open their heart, Allah begin to dress them. That from the holy hadith that they did the fard, they're approaching through their sunnah, I become the eyes in which they see, I become the ears in which they hear. Each of them has a reality. I become the breath in which they breathe, I become the mouth in which they speak, I become the hands in which they touch. Means my power upon their hands. How that going to come? Is by the heart to be open, the lights of the heart to be open, all the bad characteristics to be brought down, so that these realities can begin to emanate from the holy hands. We pray that Allah dress us and bless us from these holy nights and begin to open from these realities more and more upon our hearts. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa wa bi sirri Surat al-Fatiha.
سيدنا النبي سيدنا النبي سيدنا النبي سيدنا النبي